Hi, this is Dee at Aloha Astro. We're taking a look at the moon transiting Leo, Wednesday, October 15th. Turns your imagination and creativity into a powerful tool for transformation if you are able to remember your divinity and are courageous enough to do what brings you the most joy in life, no matter what others might think or say about you, as the moon forms a Thor's hammer aspect pattern with Mercury conjunct Mars in Scorpio and Neptune retrograde in Aries conjunct Saturn retrograde in Pisces, as well as a trine aspect with Chiron in Aries. Two major enclosed geometric patterns dominate today's chart. A kite aspect pattern of inspiration and support, which pulls a grand trine involving Venus in Libra, Uranus in Gemini, and Pluto in Aquarius to the top of a kite led by Saturn and Neptune, and a grand cross forming squares and oppositions between the Sun in Libra, Chiron in Aries, Jupiter in Cancer, and Pluto in Aquarius, which brings pressure, friction, tension, motivation, and activation. Pluto, which came out of retrograde recently, is tied into both of those larger aspect patterns, indicating that your superpower can be found in your uniqueness and individuality, but it will only function like a superpower when you choose to live truthfully and authentically. Both today's Leo moon and Uranus in Gemini resonate to the theme of the child. Childlike wonder, curiosity, imagination, and that fearless, naive confidence you had in yourself at a young age before you absorbed all the conditioning and had to conform to arbitrary rules. Now that you are older and wiser, when the planets line up as they do today, you can combine what you have learned over time with what you were encouraged to forget, tap into your superpower, and shake up some serious manifesting energy. There will be some who like you and some who don't, but doing what pleases you and being who you want to be matters more than altering yourself to please anyone else, while Venus sits at the tail of that kite and Jupiter forms trine aspects with Mercury and Mars and Saturn and Neptune. The very energy or people opposing you now only serve to strengthen your desire to keep going, and your determination to influence your reality can grow so strong that it will seem to take on a life of its own as it goes out before you in whatever area of your life you are focused on changing or improving. You can practice expanding your auric field in meditation now, and if you combine that with scripting or journaling your future, you can shift the fabric of reality to your liking. So here we've got the moon about midway through Leo, and there's that trine to Chiron in Aries. This does activate a bit more assertion or confidence in the self, the willingness to be bold or brave, and just enough of that cockiness, that self-confidence to go after what you want. The two most beneficial planets, Venus and Jupiter, although they are involved with some oppositions, particularly with the outer planets, Jupiter opposing Pluto and Venus opposing Saturn and Neptune, because they are benevolent planets, they actually tone down some of the energy of an opposition and make those oppositions a little more workable. This is where almost a perverse desire to prove somebody else wrong, to basically succeed where everybody says, no, you can't, or you'll never be able to do that. That's really what's driving that grand square, that grand cross here that contains the opposition of Jupiter and Pluto and the Sun opposing Chiron. That is like, oh yeah, well, let me just show you, or says who? I'll go do that myself. I'll figure it out myself. If you are not going to align with me, I'll go find others that do. If you don't want to support me or help me, then I'm going to figure out how to do it on my own or seek help elsewhere. So it's a very determined, very activating grand cross that's going on. And the kite being bisected by Venus at the tail even though it is in a relationship-oriented sign, this reminds you that if you are not yourself, then and if you're not happy being yourself either, then you are not going to be able to be fully present in a relationship with another. It is very important to look seriously at what you consider compromise. And if you are overly giving, or if you're suppressing too much of yourself and your desires, then bringing that back into balance would be important. Or prioritizing being who you are, acknowledging your desires and what makes you happy. That is where the kite pulling in Pluto in Aquarius, which does rule that freedom to be you, and Uranus, which rules Aquarius, is also in Gemini, that you have alternatives. You can change. You can view things differently. You don't have to remain the same all the time your entire life. If you want to change any of your interests or a career or where you live, relationship, whatever it is, there are alternatives, and it's okay to change. It's also okay to imagine a different future. And by doing so, you will magnetize and attract the right situations, the right people that will be in alignment with you, because we do get support to Pluto and to Venus through that grand trine. And it does, though, come down to remembering that you are a divine being. That's it. Bottom line, you are a divine being, which is what Saturn and Neptune are asking you to remember because of those little R's there. They're retrograde. Looking back on that, to remember that. Jupiter does support them as well, and Jupiter also supports Mercury and Mars. Mercury and Mars can be a little bit prickly there with the moon in that square, which is at the foot of the Thor's hammer. And this is where, all right, there may be some who do not like you, and that's okay. You'll still keep doing what your heart tells you to do. We have almost like a shadow of the Thor's hammer is the triangle you see here with the black dotted lines and that red line, involving the moon, Saturn, Neptune, Mercury, Mars. And sometimes the Thor's hammer, it can be some inescapable thing that you have to do. And in this case, remembering you are a divine being, following your heart, finding the people who will value you and that, and sharing it with them, or not. There will be some who don't like that at all, and that's okay too. Then we have, in a flip reverse to the kite, we have both the moon and Mercury and Mars making semi-squares to Venus in Libra, which again is supporting be true to yourself, be who you want to be, and create the reality around you through the people, the relationships you choose, your interests that you share with other people, your talents, your skills, and you will magnetize more support than you will the negativity. But be willing to carry that, some of that negativity, that there are going to be those who just, you're not their cup of tea. Oh well, too bad. That doesn't prevent you or keep you from being authentically you. And the sun is definitely delivering everybody lessons in relationship. For some people, it may be delays in actually being with somebody they would like to be with. And for others, it may just be giving them time to work through some of their issues, some of the things that keep them awake thinking at night because of the Sun opposing Chiron, squaring Pluto, squaring Jupiter, and not getting very much support elsewhere. Simply saying, what do I think about relationship right now? What am I doing about relationship right now? How do I feel about relationship right now? And that can be any type of relationship. It may tag, well, romance because of the Libra energy, but any one-on-one relationship, your relationship with yourself, Chiron in Aries, and how you behave with other people. Are you happy with that or not? And then Jupiter in Cancer, that can rule family, and Pluto in Aquarius, society as a whole, the collective, the larger group, or perhaps if you work within a larger organization, where do you fit or belong in that? Do you still belong? Do you want to belong? Or is it getting challenging trying to navigate that and find balance in that bigger relationship with more people? So it hits on a lot, and it all comes back to the Sun, which is shining its light literally on the area of one-on-one relationships. There's strong artistic energy floating about right now as well, particularly with the Moon in Leo and the Sun and Venus both in Libra. Libra is a Venus-ruled air sign, and it seeks perfection in design, particularly in any of the arts that require very precise measurement or have a system such as music, the musical notes, choreography, dance steps, dancing, architecture, fashion design, interior design, where measurements are involved, all of those things. So there's some artistic overtone going on right now, interest in aesthetics and aesthetic appeal and beauty. It may be that as you're looking at yourself in terms of relationship, you are wanting to be more perfect, be more beautiful, and you may be focusing on bringing in more of that into your life. Maybe you want to beautify your surroundings at home as well. There's a seeking out of greater ease or comfort, and the Grand Trine and the Kite can definitely lead you in that direction, but it does come down to identifying your true desires and being okay with who you are and communicating that, sharing that with others. And that means some things will fall away or some people will fall away. And while Neptune is opposing Venus, you know, if something or someone no longer fits, if the love is not there anymore, then let go. But that Venus-Neptune opposition can also increase a longing or a yearning, and Saturn may give the endurance or the commitment that makes it worthwhile. So where you are in relationship may determine how that Venus-Neptune-Saturn opposition would play out. Anything else? No, I think that's it for today. And yes, you can manifest a great deal today if you do recognize your divinity and if you do tap into the childlike nature of both Uranus, which is well aspected in the chart here, no challenging pressure on it, in Gemini, which has rulership over the third house of imagination, communication, neighbors, siblings, people you treat like brothers and sisters, formative ideas, your community, and the Moon in Leo, which rules the fifth house, romance, dating, creativity, children, pets, hobbies, where you share your passion and your joy with other people, where you play and create. So throw yourself into that fully and tap into that childlike energy today. As always, take care, stay safe. I'll be back again tomorrow.